Jesus. What is that?
A drug deal has gone terribly wrong, leaving billions of dollars worth of cocaine littered throughout a national forest. What should have been a typical day turns into a bloodbath when a giant black bear discovers cocaine and wants more.
The cocaine.
Hey, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Clubhouse Movies Podcast. I'm your host, Marc Rubalcaba, joined once again by Mr. Abel Pineda. Today we'll be reviewing Cocaine Bear, directed by Elizabeth Banks.
It's a bear. On cocaine, if you will. But hey, it's no Sharknado.
You know what? I'll admit I never seen Sharknado, but I think
Neither have I.
I think this movie had over it definitely was gore. This was definitely a horror rated R, hard
and the
R.
fact that it came out in theaters,
yeah, right.
not the Sci-Fi Channel. Am I going crazy, or was like there a time where the Sci-Fi Channel was just coming out with these wild B and like C grade movies?
For all we know,
right?
they still
that was
do.
A thing?
You know?
Oh man, I haven't watched the Sci-Fi Channel in years.
Yeah, neither have I. There hasn't been good sci-fi on it. I think Netflix turned into the Sci-Fi Channel.
You know what? I think that's what happened.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
And here we are.
A lot of things that I even heard Netflix at this point is the DVD one is gone. They're no longer renting DVDs out to people.
Whoa.
So that I was one of the last people who actually probably had it. Everyone's like, you still rent DVDs? This is like a year ago. You still rent DVDs?
Oh, dude. What was it, like a couple of years ago, I think my wife and I would still rent from Redbox.
Yeah, that's still around. That put them out of business too. Oh,
yeah, man.
I remember
Sometimes
those.
it felt nice to have a DVD.
But back to Cocaine Bear. Elizabeth Banks directed this movie.
Yeah, that's the lady who was the judge on what's that freaking movie? The Pitch Perfect movie.
Yeah, and she was also, I think, Rita Repulsa in the Power Rangers reboot.
Oh yeah,
and she was also in all the Hunger Games movies.
Yeah, she had the wild hair.
Yeah, she was the crazy hair lady who was.
You know, I actually just watched those movies for the first time. I think it was this year. My wife was like, "You have to watch these," and we watched them back to back to back.
Boy, that's a declining quality bar there.
That was horrible.
I'll tell you what, the first one was okay, then the second one was okay, then the third one was okay,
yeah, it was like the Divergent series. We also watched those right before. And I think Maze Runner is up next.
That's what I was thinking. There was
just to keep it.
There was Hunger Games, Divergent, and Maze Runner. Were like the three teen scary like post-apocalyptic zombie stories.
It was like they saw Harry Potter and they're like, "Oh, we can do better." And then they saw Twilight and they're like, "We can for sure do better."
Do you know what the last one? You know what the last one is in that Hall of Mystery? There's one more Hall of Misery one.
Oh
you know
no!
What was?
Which one?
Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
Oh, okay. So listen, real quick. I don't know if you want a record scratch to this one here.
Yeah.
But I read the Percy Jackson books, and I was beyond excited when the first one came out. And I was like, oh, this is going to be so good. Then they lost funding for the third one because the first one didn't do as well as they anticipated. So they crammed like books 2 and 3 into the second one. It was a raging dumpster fire, and I am so sad that it happened, but I'm so glad they're coming out with the series on Disney Plus. I'm just really hoping it doesn't suck.
Yeah, I don't know why they just call him Perseus, but I guess that's the same character name as Sam Worthington in the Clash of the Titans movies. I'll tell you what. And then the other one was which was the OG one that lost steam was the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Remember they made like
the first one was awesome.
Yeah.
The second one was not so much.
I think I watched Colbert where they were talking about like Jesus, Aslan the lion being Jesus. Nope, definitely wrong. Jesus wasn't a lion.
No, but C.S. Lewis was a very devout Christian, so I mean I could see where they were pulling these things from, but still, those movies fell apart. They fell apart faster than crumble cake.
Yeah, whenever there was that, the second one was about the handsome prince. I kind of lost my momentum. Speaking of coke-fueled fever dreams, getting back on track, Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear, right in the 80s, where it should be.
I liked Cocaine Bear, and I think it was the most 80s I've had in a while that didn't involve, I don't know, Wonder Woman or
Marty
something.
McFly?
Yeah, Marty McFly. Great Scott!
It was Marty McHigh.
Yeah. I thought it was a lot of fun, and it was cheesy, had cheesy 80s music throughout. But this movie had something that I also don't see a lot in movies anymore. I think every character in it was memorable.
You know what? That's very true. It was, and this is going to be a crazy freaking parallel, but it was the Star Wars of 80s movies.
You might be right there. Where every character has a thing, and they do their thing, and they do their thing well.
And they have these wild personalities that are wholly unto them, which I didn't realize until just now.
And even the least memorable of the characters have memorable deaths.
Yeah.
It's like,
they were.
What did they do to? And I was thinking about like Jason movies where they're always in the camps, and no one really remembers any of the victims in Jason movies. Maybe there's a handful of like, standouts throughout the years.
Yeah.
But if there were a Jason movie like this, where every single character did a thing and had a memorable death, I think they would be a lot more.
And I really liked that mainstream. They did they took all the nods from Jurassic Park raptor deaths, brought everybody into the ferns, and were like pretty much just had they probably had production assistants in the tall grass going, shaking it.
The PAs, get back to work. Get me some
shake
coffee.
That grass.
Shut up and give me some coffee.
Shut up and take my money.
The best. It was good. I appreciated the practical effects when they showed up.
Yeah.
Because, man, they were gory practical effects.
Gory practical effects, and it didn't stop, it just kept going.
Yeah.
And also the bear was cute and cuddly for the most part.
Yeah, just on cocaine with large black eyes.
Yeah, black bear on white cocaine.
Hey, look, man, I watched I don't know if you saw this pop up. I think wherever it was streaming, I forget which. I think it was Peacock. I just asked Siri to play it. It just showed up. But it was they had the documentary.
Yeah.
Following this movie.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and not really paying attention to it, but I was just like picking up on here and there. But the fact that I live in Georgia, and I think this took place in northeastern Georgia. I'm in northwestern Georgia, so that's not that far away from where I live.
Yeah, I think the bear didn't have as happy of an ending than it did in this one. No. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, as Rick James once said a long time ago.
Makes you want to F your couch.
They had enough money to buy another couch. Anyway.
They turned that bear into a couch, I'll tell you that.
I heard a story that Rick James also messed up Jamie Foxx's couch too. So he's a habitual couch destroyer, as well as a habitual line stepper. But anyway, Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
This movie straight off the bat had like coked out porn star guy in the in an airplane, just throwing coke out the window.
Oh yeah, just jiving, dancing around, just chucking with his bales of cocaine out of an airplane.
Yeah, and then he just jumps out he tries to jump out the door with his parachute, but just clobbers his head. He kills himself on the way down.
It's like trying to make it into the garage before it closes, and not realizing the garage is faster than you think.
Yeah, so it just clobbers him in the head, and he dies, and then apparently breaks his legs on the way down because his parachute didn't deploy. They didn't show his body, or the lower half of his body, so I'll assume his legs were destroyed. But
they have to be.
The whole area was littered in cocaine.
Yeah, and the thing is, they show footage because this is based on a true story. Obviously, a lot of it was for the movie's sake a little bit grandiose, but this is real. They show actual footage of the crime scene, like the cops doing their thing, which I was just blown away by.
Yeah, and like I said, every character does a thing, and there are not a lot of characters in this, so maybe we'll kind of just follow the characters. And Carrie Russell is the mom, and she's got 2 kids. No, she's got a girl, right?
Yes.
And the girl has a young boyfriend, right? A little girl.
Yeah.
And a young.
It's like a dude friend.
Dude friend, right? 2 kids, right? And then the other character that we meet is Bob the cop. And Bob the cop has apparently been after these gangsters for a long time. Ray Liotta, the gangster, wants to catch him, right?
Yeah.
And then it's apparently raining cocaine. He's like, oh, we got Biff flew out of an airplane. It's probably like Ray Liotta, the gangster, is on it, right? So then there's Ray Liotta. Then there's Ray Liotta, the gangster,
Yeah,
And-
posthumously.
Yeah, posthumously. And his son is Eddie, played by Alan Ehrenreich, also known as young Han Solo in the Han Solo.
Yeah.
I saw him. I thought I recognized him. I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Is
He's a
that guy?
blubbering crybaby the whole time.
Yeah. So which they didn't really. They did explain that his wife died off camera in another universe or something. I don't
She
know.
had cancer. She died of cancer, and that was Ray Liotta's daughter.
Oh, was his daughter or his daughter-in-law?
Yeah. No, it was his daughter.
Oh,
She died.
okay.
Yeah. So that's how their relationship
connected.
exists.
Yeah, and then there's David, who is Ray Liotta's his first henchman,
Played
right?
by O'Shea.
Jackson Jr.
Yeah, O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
AKA Ice Cube's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
dude.
didn't know that.
Dude looks like a young Ice Cube. He played him in Straight Outta Compton.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
I remember.
It's all coming back now.
Anyway, so those are the main characters. Something else maybe we should say is Bob has he got a dog from an agency and he thought it would be like a German Shepherd or a tough dog. It ended up being like a tiny little cheesy.
I think it was a Shih Tzu.
Yeah, a little Shih Tzu named. Did I write it down? I know I wrote it down because
I didn't
it
write
was
it
like
down.
Molly or something.
Something. She's got little bows in her hair.
Yeah.
Cute dog.
Rosette.
Cute dog I'd
Rosette
never owned.
the
Rosette.
dog.
Of course.
And then he's trying to pawn Rosette the dog off to his other girl that he works with.
Like
another
a
cop.
sergeant or something.
Yeah, Sergeant Reba, Officer Reba,
Yeah.
who had a dog but didn't have a Rosette. But anyway, so he assumes the officer assumes Bob assumes that he can go to the national forest and find cocaine or find the gangster sniffing for cocaine, right? And then we also meet two campers. The first of which was the guy from Game of Thrones. Forgot his name. That is Olaf, played by Christopher Havzu, and his wife or his girlfriend. And they encounter the bear first. And they're like, "Oh, look at the cute bear!" And by the way, people really act dumb in this movie. Like they look at the bear. If I see a bear, I'm quietly walking in the other direction. You know?
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, look at the bear."
You bet anywhere I go hiking here where I live, I am strapped.
Yeah, we get bear mace, man. Good.
Yeah,
Also good
bear
against
mace.
crackheads.
Yeah. I don't have those here.
Yeah, no crackheads. They've never been bear maced. Anyway. So Olaf's wife, they're like, "Oh, look at the nice bear," and then the bear charges at them and tears the wife apart, and then Olaf runs away with the leg in pieces.
Yeah.
And
That was wild.
So, and then we mentioned the two kids. They go on a Goonies adventure into the national park
Yes.
instead of going to work.
I guess I'm glad you brought that up because I'm like, why does this movie feel oddly familiar here with these two kids? And it was just because I was immediately drawn in, just with my Pavlovian need to understand these freaking 80s movies,
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, it's the freaking Goonies.
These Goonies go on searches for stranger things. Let's say.
Nice. That was.
I'll tell you what, though.
You can pat yourself on the back for that one. That was a pretty good call.
Yeah. Here. But they did go to paint the town red, to paint the rocks red, which by the end of this movie, the rocks were definitely painted red.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. It's some good foreshadowing there. But anyway, so they go on this adventure, and I'll tell you what, also, I keep saying that, I'll tell you what, these kids are dumb because they find a brick of cocaine in the national forest, and they're like, "Oh, look at the brick!" And then the kid tries to act hard like he does cocaine all the time, and he sells cocaine like the boy does.
Dude's like 11 years old.
Yeah,
tops.
literally little kids, and the girl's like, "Why?" Like the girl Dee Dee, I think is her name. She goes, "Oh, why don't you do cocaine like you normally do?" He's like, "Yeah, I do all the time," and he just grabs like a spoonful, and tries
with
to
his
eat
knife.
it.
Yeah, he shoves it in his mouth. He's like, "Oh!"
I was waiting for him to die, dude. I was waiting for him to
I did too. I'm like, these kids are gonna go into shock.
But he just
This
spits
is
it up,
crazy.
and I think the girl does it too. I think Dee Dee does it too.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I have 2 cups of coffee back to back, and I'm like, I am traveling through space and time.
Yeah, so then they encounter the cocaine bear, and then we don't follow their storyline for a minute. Then we follow the storyline of the ranger, Ranger Liz, who runs the ranger station, and she's getting into it with one of the the punks. Like there's 3 punks.
Yeah.
And I got them kind of confused back and forth. I think it was the guy with the puffy shirt who encounters first, who's like stealing stuff from the thing. And she's like, you're one of those punks who's stealing all my stuff, are you? I think I wrote it down. Did I write it down?
I think his name was Kid. Called him Stash.
Yeah, there were 3 of them. There was Kid,
Stash,
Ponytail,
and Tom. Oh, was it Vest?
Yeah,
Vest. Yeah.
And,
I forget. Tom was the EMT.
Yeah, Tom was he's got a good death too.
Yeah.
But anyway, then the mom like comes into the ranger station because she's looking for the kids, but this ranger Liz is waiting for this other ranger to come, Peter, who's like a wildlife expert, and they figure they'll all go together looking for these kids.
And she's got the hots for him.
She's considering it a date. Meanwhile, like this ranger Peter's really just doing an animal survey of the animals in the thing. So so the 3 of them go off into the forest looking. So there's kids, we got 2 parents, and then we got these gangsters, David and Eddie, working for Ray Liotta, about to go in the forest also. All right. So that's the main players who are coming in. And then there's also the punks, the 3 punks.
Yeah.
And David, he enters like a bathroom first. And then he gets into a fight with the punks. They're like, hey, and they pull out a knife. And these guys look so lame. Like they look lame. I wanted to fight them in the bathroom with David.
Yeah, I did too. I was watching them on screen. I'm like, I hate these guys immediately.
They didn't even look tough at all. They looked funny and stupid.
They were firm marshmallows at best.
And they were dressed in bright 80s like fanny pack clothes.
Yeah.
That's why I call them Vest and Ponytail, because they look so stupid. And David, beats him up, but he gets a knife in the back, dude.
Yeah.
In his jersey.
And he's not even mad about the stabbing. He's mad that he's like, I love this jersey.
Beat up a bit in this movie.
Yeah.
But not like beat up, but like he gets shit thrown at him a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But that was pretty good. And then that's when they run maybe I'll be jumping around because a lot happens here.
Yeah.
So then David grabs Kid. Kid is now the new main guy, right?
Yep.
And his Kid knows where the cocaine is because he stashed a lot of it in a gazebo. So David, Eddie, and Kid go off looking for the gazebo. So that's their mission, right? Yep. And all through it, Eddie is like being mopey, and he's got kids.
Yeah.
And this kid's like, when I was growing up, I was a loser, and my mom gave me a lizard, and the lizard like made my day, and I had no friends.
They're going through like this therapy session while David's like, "Shut up, man! Shut up! Just get us to the free cocaine."
Yeah, but he's like, and then like I had friends too, and that's when I met like Ponytail and Butthead or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when I met Beavis and Butthead. And then we've been throwing rocks at cars ever since. So then the mom and the ranger run into the kid, the male kid, Henry, and they're like, "Where's Dee Dee?" They're like, "She ran off with the bear, and the bear was chasing her, and I hope she's okay." And then that's when the cocaine bear attacks. The mom Sherry, the ranger, and the guy, and that's when they all climb trees. Bears definitely can climb trees, and the ranger gets like cocaine all over him. And he jumps from tree to tree, like trying to get the cocaine. Like,
well, it was the dude ranger. What was his name?
His name was Peter.
So Peter goes up the tree. It's 2 parallel trees to paint the scene, and the kid is, what's his name? Freaking
is it Henry the kid.
Henry. He's up there, and he's like, "Bears can't climb trees," and what's his face is like,
Peter.
"They sure can."
Yes, they can.
Yeah, and the bear's almost up at Henry. And then Peter realizes he has cocaine dust on him, and the bear catches a whiff of it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. And he's like, "Oh, no.
The bear jumps like Spider-Man from
it just jumps down, climbs so fast.
I think that's the best way to describe the way this bear moves. He moves like Spider-Man. Yeah. Because he runs really fast.
Spider bear.
Spider bear. When he is ready for coke, He takes his Coke like spinach. By the way, that does happen at some point in this movie where he Popeyes out with this cocaine.
Yeah.
And he tears Peter apart from the tree, and then
man,
then the
Glory.
mom Sari runs off with Henry to go find Dee Dee. Meanwhile,
Dee Dee,
the bear slices the first Ranger Liz's ass real quick.
Yeah.
Like he bites her in the ass or slices her ass, and she's got this big hole in her pants. She just looks messed up. She runs back to the ranger station where the remaining two punks are complaining that they got beat up. And she pulls out a gun. She's all freaked out. Her ass is bleeding.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "It's coming! It's coming!" And then and then Ponytail opens the door.
Well, she holds the gun to Ponytail, saying, I think she's threatening him at first. Says, "You better open that door." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And he stands there and opens the door, and then, oh man.
Yeah, he opens the door.
It's rough.
There's a bear looking really cute, by the way. I think he was just sitting like,
just coming down from his coke high.
Yeah, and then Ponytail is like, "Oh my god, it's a bear!" And then Ranger Liz shoots Ponytail in the head and blows his head up, and she starts screaming.
Yeah.
Ah!
Like it's like all over the place. You see it happen. It's. Don't tell me it didn't happen. I saw it happen. It's all over the damn screen.
We all saw it happen. And they had already dialed 911 at this point, and then the ambulance comes like a few clicks later. And then there's Beth and Tom, the ambulance workers, and they just see the bloodbath, and they're walking around trying to figure out what happened. And I think they see the bear like eating like honey in the background or something. Yeah. And they try to like wheel off. They try to wheel off the survivors, and Beth takes off in the ambulance. And like I think that the last punk got eaten. One got shot in the head.
Yeah.
They strap the Ranger Liz up to the ambulance, and Beth's taken off, and like Tom like very carefully evades the bear and like runs back into the ambulance. And then this bear's all coked out at this point. And Spider-Man's, like the Flash, like really fast after the ambulance.
It's in the trailer. It's nuts.
And then he neos like in slow motion into the ambulance and like kills like everyone there. Tom gets his like hand like split open, and then the ambulance hits a tree, and then Beth comes flying out.
Sends Beth flying out the front window, and she dies right on the ground.
And all those people turned into pizza.
Then Ranger Liz gets like the worst. She's like road rash death 1000.
Oh yeah, she died like Kenny. That one Kenny death. Anyway.
Yeah, because she's strapped to the what is that thing? The gurney. So she like lands face down at speed and just.
Yeah, she just gets sanded down.
It does not sound good.
Yeah, so that was pretty good.
She is road beef.
Yeah, and you were expecting some of these people to live, but nope, nobody. No
one is safe.
Yeah, the kill count.
When a bear is coked out.
And then at this point, David and Kid and Eddie show up at the gazebo, looking for the rest of the coke, but a lot of it is gone because the bear stole it, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's when Bob shows up. No, Bob was already at the top of the gazebo because he already knew that he already found the coke up there, right? Yeah. So there's a standoff now between Eddie, David, and the Kid, with Bob with a gun to all of them, like trying to get them to cooperate, right? Because he knows they're henchmen of Sid, Ray Liotta's character. Yeah. And David, he like moves fast or something and gets his finger blown off, and that lands on the ground. Oh. Yeah, which is pretty gross.
That was gnarly.
And like Eddie picks it up, and puts it in his pocket, which we'll get back to later on. Yeah. And they just sort of like hang out for a while, and then the bear comes and like passes out on top of Eddie, and they're like, "Oh man, you fucked."
Choked out of his mind, man.
Yeah, and they think he's dead because he's coked out of his mind, and then like there's actually a funny scene where David's like, "Hey, truce, let me go see if the bear's dead."
Yeah.
And meanwhile, David has coke in his pants, from all the other coke they've been finding. And the bear like hulks up again, trying to get more coke. And that's when Bob is at the top. Didn't they give him
more coke?
Yeah. Bob is at the top throwing him coke, trying to get the other guys to run, but they didn't want to run because Sid the gangster is going to be all mad. Yeah. That's when Bob gets shot by Sid. So Sid,
Oh,
the
yeah.
gangster Ray Liotta, did show up, right? And then the kid gets away, by the way. So he runs off.
Yeah.
And that's where Bob dies. And I felt bad for Bob. He was a good character. You know, they had a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of banter back and forth. It's hard to describe.
He was in here. Like, there was never a moment where Bob was this, like, cop where you thought he was a bad guy at all.
Yeah, he was a good guy. And like we said, he was trying to pawn off his little dog to his partner or one of the subordinates, played by Officer Reba, who ended up being bad. And she came.
Yes.
And she was
What a
in
douche.
with Sid. And she even brought the little dog with her because she was stuck babysitting it. Rosetta the dog. Which is sad. Anyway, so Bob dies, leaving the three gangsters to look for the rest of the coke.
Yep.
Right? Meanwhile, Carrie Russell, the mom, is still looking for Henry. And they run into that first.
Oh no, she's looking for Dee Dee.
Looking for Dee Dee, yes. She's with Henry looking for Dee Dee.
Her and Henry out there, yeah.
And they run into Olaf, that first hiker from Game of Thrones. And they're like, yeah, I saw the little girl. And like they run over there. And then they all go looking for.
They go over there.
They go over there. Yeah. This is literally like a transition. And I think they probably cut a bunch of scenes or they didn't edit right or something. Because
it was a weird. Yeah, it was like they went dark and you're like, is my screen too dark or something?
Yeah.
It was a weird choice.
Because they didn't really explain what happened to Olaf until later.
Yeah.
But they end up in the caves.
The bear cave.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like
they end up in the caves.
Bear cave.
And then we find out that this he-bear is not a he at all. It's just a raging freaking mama bear high on coke.
No, we knew that it was... We knew it was female because when it fell asleep on Eddie's head vagina first.
Oh, right. Oh, I must have watched over that.
Because they were like, they kept referring to the bear as a he. And then like under the bear, like Eddie's like,
yeah.
It's a girl. It's a girl. How can you tell? His vagina is on my face.
That's so gross.
Yeah. Bear poon. Anyway.
Oh, no. Nasty.
Where's that button? Anyway.
Yeah. That, and there was that.
Where were we? Okay. So now we don't know what happened to Olaf, but Sid and David and Eddie they said that they ran into the body of Olaf. So Olaf at some point got mauled by the bear, right?
Yep.
And they have a quick flashback of him being mauled by a bear or them running into it. So I think they cut that scene for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
And she realizes this is evil, and I think she runs off, right? And Sid's like, but they're gonna chop us up into pieces because they're gonna piss off, all the cartel because they lost
Sid,
like all their cocaine, like $1 billion worth, $100 million worth of cocaine or whatever, right? Yeah, I got some cat hair on this mic here, it's bugging me. Okay. So he pressures Davi and Eddie to sally forth as Officer Rebaz ran off because this is too much for her. And then they get into the cave with the baby cubs where the whole family has been reunited. The mom found Dee Dee and Henry.
Yeah. And
then Eddie, David, and Sid all show up looking for cocaine, right? They're looking for the bear or something, right? They're like, we don't have cocaine. We're just going to leave. No, you can't leave until we find our cocaine. And
not at all.
Back and forth. And stupid Sid is like kicking the cubs. And then they're in this.
Dude, he's such a D-bag the entire time. Like, he's like the one who is, for some reason, the most grounded because he only wants his cocaine. Yeah. And everyone else is like, there's a bear on cocaine.
Yeah. To be fair, though, the cartel was going to chop his legs off at some point if they caught up with him. So I get the danger of what was happening, but he in the end of the day he didn't lose it. It was that mustache guy at the beginning. So
freaking mustachio.
Yeah, man. Whoever his family is, I'm not sure if he was related to Sid or what was going on, but he kept kicking the bear. Yeah. And then the mom finally came and started like, and he shot the bear, and the bear fell down the waterfall, but just like on a ledge that didn't go all the way down the waterfall. And I think Sari, the mom and the bunch of kids, they run in I think they jumped down the waterfall all the way down into the water, right? And that's how they survived.
Yeah,
right?
to like avoid Sid. Yeah.
Yeah, to avoid Sid. And then meanwhile, the mama bear found more cocaine on that ledge and ate it like Popeye eats spinach and was able to like turbocharge Spider-Man back up and then rip Sid's stomach guts out. All his intestines and everything.
Disemboweled him. I was like,
completely disemboweled
crap.
Sid.
And then the freaking cubs who were also high on cocaine start eating him. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then David and Eddie disappear into the ether.
Yeah.
And you know the bear and the kids are all cute, and it was fun.
Yeah. Cute cubs.
Yeah,
and then,
cute stuff.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then after that, we kind of cut to another family enjoying their day at the national park, and they're like, "Oh, look, a black bear! Oh, look, it's a..." And then the bears with their cubs this time, and they all look coked out of their mind, like, "Ah!"
Is the red light on?
No, I got it.
Oh, they're so cute.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Wait, why are they looking at us like that? Oh shit.
You're like, oh no.
Here we go again. And then
I was gonna say then we cut to
another
Vest.
epilogue.
Yeah.
Where Eddie remembers the story of the kid getting a lizard and it making his day. So he has Rosetta, the little Shih Tzu dog, and gives it to Eddie, or gives it to Eddie's kid. He gives it to his kid. He's like, "Oh, look at the kid," and then they realized he was eating something. What was he eating? He was eating the finger that David lost earlier. And David's like, "I don't think they could have put it on anyway. It's okay."
That's gross.
I don't know why they didn't drive straight to the hospital, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And then
it's okay.
One more post-credit sequence, which was the kid who did run away, who managed to escape. Last punk. Threw a bunch of coke. He was the last man standing with the cocaine, and jumped on a goat truck, and he threw his backpack in with the goats first, and then realized he didn't want cocaine goats. Yeah, went back and grabbed it, and then that
was pretty good.
Exited the movie via goat truck, and that was the Cocaine Bear. And I mean, like, I know we kind of blasted through that pretty fast, but it was
a short movie. It's like an hour and a half. That's it.
Yeah, it was a quick, easy watch, and I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I want to see more.
Yeah,
more wilderness.
There's supposed to be like cocaine shark or something. There was a wild rumor for a second. That's why I also brought up the Sharknado thing. Is that would be pretty crazy. I mean,
you know how Cocaine Shark should end? They need to get Henry Winkler in it somehow, and somehow he has to jump the shark tank, just to kind of go.
That'd be amazing.
You know what I'm talking about?
Henry Winkler.
There's a saying in Hollywood called "jump the shark," and Happy Days when it was on, they ran out of ideas, and they're like, and then there was like a contest or some sort of event where the Fonz was jump a shark on skis. And it was like the dumbest thing in TV history. Dude, so everyone forever would say, "Oh, they jumped the shark," being the dumbest thing they can do. And then it was soon replaced by, can you guess what saying?
No.
Nuke
Jump the gun?
The fridge.
Oh, nuke the fridge.
As we all know.
Is that from Indiana Jones?
Yeah, survived a nuclear blast.
In a fridge.
Hopping into a fridge. But anyway, back to Cocaine Bear and that shenanigans. I'm going to give it an A-. Cocaine Bear is a shining example of what a silly creature feature horror movie should be, complete with over-the-top and memorable characters with an unstoppable bear. Cocaine Bear was funny and light most of the time, and when it was horrific, it was good. Above all else, see it for a cute and cuddly killer bear.
Nice. I'm going to give it a C+. I can't believe this was based on an actual event that happened in real life. Like, the bear actually did cocaine. This movie took quite some liberties with its storytelling and viscera, but at least there were some lighthearted moments to help ease the gore, and my god, there was a lot of it. Did it need to be a movie? Maybe. At least it was original. Worth a watch if you want to see a coked out bear run amok. If not, you won't miss much, but hey, it's free to stream. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I gave it a higher grade, A-, because at this point it's already on like Amazon Plus or wherever it's on streaming services. The movie recommended after this was Knock at the Cabin, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. And I remember thinking, like, there's so much better movies in the world than Knock at the Cabin. Why are we
They're
even giving Shyamalan like the time of day anymore? See
he's
Cocaine
got
Bear.
2 terrible. Yeah, Cocaine Bear, way original. And
It was fun.
Got twists and turns that are way better. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, you're invested incredibly into a bear that you know is gonna just do bear things. That's it.
And he looks cute. It's great. And you know what? I'll tell you what. It was better than Jurassic World, like all of them. You know, I think it was better than all Jurassic Park sequels.
See, I'm a sucker for Jurassic World just because I like the whole stupid storytelling of it. But
I think the problem with Jurassic World, especially the world, like the big sequel ones,
Dominion, yeah,
all the world ones, they didn't have memorable characters.
Yeah, they really didn't. It was really just.
Whereas this movie had really cute, cuddly bear and
I agree.
super 80s characters. Anyway, that has been our hot take on Cocaine Bear. Thanks, Elizabeth Banks, for that strange, possibly directorial debut. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you can. We are available wherever podcasts are, including YouTube. I'm your host, Marc Rubalcaba, joined once again by Mr. Abel Pineda. We will catch you next time. Woo! That was good. Okay, let's shut it down.